you guys doing? This is Derek, and today I'm going to talk about a question that I believe a lot of Christians should be asking themselves if we follow what Jesus told us is how to love other people more. And what I found in my life is that the more that I learn to love other people, the more that I learn to love life, the more that I love myself. And I found that the more that I focus on this, it makes me not think about other petty things and other petty problems, and it makes me focus on what's most important. So the question is, how do we do this? And I think that we need to look at the verse, love your neighbor as yourself. Love God, love your neighbor as yourself. But I think that a lot of people miss something here because we focus on loving your neighbor as yourself, loving their neighbor, but we don't focus on loving yourself, right? Because it's love your neighbor as yourself. It's like as you love yourself. And so we think, how does love work? So it's like, in my view, love starts here, right? It starts in the heart, and then it comes out through the body, and it goes through yourself onto other people. So loving yourself is so important, but we often miss that. And the more that we love ourselves, the more that love for other people just comes out naturally. So then the question is, how do we love ourselves more? I grew up and I noticed that throughout different experiences with different churches, I've seen that there's one word of God, right? And it's been translated, and there's many ways to interpret it. There's many ways to not only interpret it, but there's certain things that you can focus on. I've noticed that negative people, they can focus on things in the Bible, right? And they can create a negative worldview by focusing on these things, by focusing on condemning other people or something like this. So I found that in my experience through different churches, people focus on, not only they focus on the loving of the neighbor, but they focus on things that are like, for example, rules, or they focus on like, I need to pray at this time, or you should be in prayer, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we should be, but at the same time, it's like, it should be an inspired action. And so I lived my life thinking sometimes that I need to be praying at this moment, or like maybe I would go and do something that I enjoy, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking, okay, this is enjoyable, but it's not the most important thing that I should do in my day. And so the most important thing is when I seek God and when I pray, like that's going to be the thing that I should be focused on. And then I just had this image recently of the world where if the world was like mostly water, but there was these small little islands where people lived on, and we lived on this island, maybe the fish swam up to us and we eat the fish, and then we go in our little hut and we just pray and we just seek God and we just like meditate or what have you, then it would make sense, you know, if the world was like this, if the world was just a bunch of small little islands that everybody lived on and they just did that. But the fact is, the world is huge. The world is to be explored. There are so many things to see, so many things to enjoy. And so we're supposed to go and have fun. We're supposed to go enjoy life, enjoy all the good things. So the thing that I like to focus on now in the Bible is that nothing is evil in itself. In the book of Acts, God said to Peter, don't call anything unclean that God has made clean. That's talking about eating food. But also in Romans, I believe it was, the Apostle Paul said that nothing, what did he say? I'm trying to remember. Anything that I do is permissible, but nothing can master me. So it's like we can enjoy so many things in life. And I think the key to loving ourselves more is allowing. allow yourself to feel the way you feel. That's a very big one, even if it's a negative emotion. Don't feel shame for feeling negative emotions. Allow yourself to listen to your body. When you want to stop looking at the screen, for example, you can feel it and just start listening to your body, because the more you allow yourself to do whatever you instinctively want to do, the more that you're gonna train yourself to actually listen to your body and actually take that action. So a lot of self-love is allowing yourself, enjoy this moment. Allow yourself to not think about whatever you're thinking about, whatever worry you're thinking about. And some people think like that being a Christian or being a follower of Jesus is not about feeling good. And I think it's all about feeling good, because love feels good. Life feels good. Loving yourself feels good. Loving your neighbor feels good. What about it doesn't feel good is my question. And the very fact that God has rules for us is something that feels good too, because it means that he cares about us as a father cares about their children. They give them rules so they don't hurt themselves, so they take care of themselves. So I believe that God wants us to allow ourselves to enjoy all the things that we want to enjoy, that we really deep down want to enjoy, because when we really know ourselves, we realize that there's nothing really evil that we really want to do. And anything that we think we want to do that's evil is not really the real us, if that makes sense. That's not the real pure soul that we are born with, that we really want. So Jesus took children and said, if you want to be the greatest, be like them. And what do children do? They just laugh and play. They satisfy their curiosities. They explore. You tell them like, you're going to get this thing today, or I'm going to give this to you today, and they're happy and they just enjoy it, and they just act kind of with an innocence and naivety, and they're not thinking in their mind, oh, I'm not allowing myself to enjoy this thing right now because A, B, C, D, E, because of religion, because blah, blah, blah. So that's one key, I believe, is we need to allow ourselves. We need to allow. And I think that when you're thinking of loving yourself, the word allow is a very powerful word. And I like to keep things very simple too. Allow, You're in the moment, you want to enjoy something, okay, allow. And then the other key that I wanted to talk about, again with loving other people, I think if you really love yourself, loving other people is going to come more naturally. But something that makes us love other people more, there are so many things we grow up with in our society that, especially in the West, I think, where we are judgmental. And being judgmental, it doesn't give us any power. It doesn't give us any energy. It doesn't give us any insight, because being judgmental is very nearsighted. And if you walk around and you see somebody wearing a crazy fashion or something, being judgmental about that person based on an appearance is very naive as well, because you don't really know what thought process they had. I believe the book Letting Go, I think that's the book that had this, is basically when you see everybody as basically the way God sees them, and you see them as people who are doing the best they can, or basically they're doing the best they can with the information or the resources that they have. Whatever knowledge, whatever resources, whatever has come into their mind or into their life, they're doing what they think is right based on that. And so if we see everybody in that way, which is sometimes challenging, but the more you practice it, the more you make an intention to do that, the more that you're able to love people. I also think that in our culture, we think love is all about a feeling. It's just a feeling. And a lot of love is actually a choice. It's actually a conscious choice when you're given two choices, am I going to judge this person or am I going to love this person? If you make that choice and you basically give up those negative thoughts, you choose the yes instead of the no, right? You choose, yes, I believe I can love this person. And you make that a habit, and you're basically training your heart to be more like perfect. Nobody can convict you for loving people more. And I believe that focusing on not their outer appearance, but focusing on the spirit that's inside of them, seeing that and seeing a reflection of yourself, because we are all connected. And the spirit of life that gives you life also gives them life. And even if you see somebody who's like homeless on the street, they're overweight, maybe they're really just drunk or whatever they are, it's good to think like that person could be me if I were given certain situations, certain circumstances, certain thought patterns, certain limiting beliefs. If certain things got into my life, I could be this person right now, you know, and I'm no better than this person. And so that's another thing is getting rid of the pedestals in our minds that society has taught us, whether it be looks, whether it be money, whether it be race, whatever. We're all equal. We all have equal value. We all have equal potential. I believe even like IQ or the idea of someone being a genius, this is all something that we have the ability to achieve if we have the right faith and if we have the right mindset. They did a study in NASA that said, well, they had a bunch of children and they studied for like genius symptoms. And they found that like almost all the children showed genius in some way. And then after, I think it was 5 years, something like that, they tested the children again. And they found that only like 25% exhibited those genius qualities. And then after about 10 years of the children's lives, they tested them again and only like 2% were exhibiting, were still having those genius level talents. So that very fact means that we're all born geniuses. We're all born with amazing potential that society, parents, whatever, pushes down, brings down. And mainly it's through enforcing limiting beliefs, I believe. And so that means the very idea of genius doesn't exist, doesn't mean anything. That means we're all on equal pedestals, we're all on equal levels, we all have equal potential. So that makes it a lot easier to love, I believe, because in reality, there's no reason why you cannot love anybody. So I hope this was valuable to you. I really believe that the more we focus on loving people, it's not about obeying so much. It's not about, for me personally, I'm not focused on, oh, I'm trying to tick this off my box of being good or something. For me, it's about living the best life. And loving people and loving yourself is like such a good feeling, you know, that I want to experience, that I want to live with in my life. So I hope this was of value to you. Please like, share, and I hope to be posting more videos. I've been, basically I relocated back to Asia. I was trying to live in Vietnam. I had a big problem with my visa that I was kind of fighting for months. I finally came and lived in Phuket. I'm in Phuket right now in Thailand. So that's kind of why I haven't been posting. And I'm also debating if I want to continue in the English videos, or I'm trying to learn the language and try to get into like making Thai videos in Thai. And I don't know, I might do both. I might have both. So, all right. Thank you guys, and see you later.